Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. The annual Shangri-La Dialogue, a prominent Asia-Pacific security forum, commenced in Singapore on Friday for a three-day session. Despite critical topics like Taiwan and the Iran conflict on the agenda, China's Defense Minister Dong Jun is notably absent for the second year running. Instead, China's delegation is led by Meng Shangqing, a National Defense University professor with a major general rank, marking China's lowest-level representation since 2007. Analysts from Sin-Chu Daily suggest this absence signals China's growing power, implying it no longer feels the need to send a top official to gain favor or face intense scrutiny. Consequently, the upcoming speech by U.S. Defense Secretary Haggases on Saturday has become a major focal point. Experts anticipate Haggases will adopt a firm stance on China, potentially for domestic political considerations, while also noting that under a Trump administration, even sensitive issues like Taiwan could be subject to negotiation. Additionally, the AUKUS defense ministers are meeting in Singapore with Australia's defense minister emphasizing a rules-based global order in the Indo-Pacific. Separately, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi presented 9 reform directions for global governance at a UN meeting, and ASEAN leaders are slated to hold a summit with Russian President Putin in Kazan next month, despite many ASEAN members having condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Source: Sin-Chu Daily. A Russian drone struck a residential building in Galați, Romania, an EU member state, injuring 2 people and sparking a fire, according to Linha. The European Union promptly condemned Russia's aggressive war for once again crossing the line. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen expressed solidarity with Romania, emphasizing the EU's commitment to strengthening security and deterrence along its eastern border while increasing pressure on Russia. EU Foreign Affairs Commissioner Kaja Kallas also conveyed full EU solidarity to Romania's foreign minister, stating that Moscow must not be allowed to violate European airspace with impunity, and calling the incident a blatant and serious violation of Romania's sovereignty and European airspace. Additionally, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg affirmed the alliance's readiness to defend every inch of its territory, describing Russia's actions as reckless and a threat that extends beyond Ukraine's borders. The incident occurred during Russian nighttime airstrikes on targets within Ukraine near the Romanian river border. According to a report from Ba on May 29th, the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, led by Samuel Wool-Perpero, recently submitted a budget request to Congress, revealing a quiet effort to strengthen its capabilities to deter or confront China in the Taiwan Strait. This initiative includes investments in 3 key weapon systems: the new quick-sink anti-ship bombs, advanced quick-strike mines, and the Cancun Electronic Countermeasure Program. The 121-page report, dated April 6, details how a portion of the Trump administration's record $1.5 trillion defense budget would be allocated to deployments in Asia. It reiterates that 2027 is a critical year for China's military preparation to take Taiwan. The report describes Beijing's military ambitions in stronger terms than the overall administration, stating that the People's Liberation Army is undertaking a historical expansion across all domains, aiming for military readiness by 2027 to force Taiwan's unification and counter U.S. and allied defensive capabilities. Paparo urged Congress to approve the budget to defend the homeland and frustrate China's unbalanced strategy. Specific requests include $592 million for quick-sink modules to convert JDAMs into low-cost, all-weather anti-ship weapons, and $531 million for quick-strike shallow-water mines, complemented by new hammerhead mines and secret submarine-launched mining capabilities. The Cancun program is developing electronic countermeasures against China's over-the-horizon radar systems and a secure military communication system. Significant funds are also allocated to hypersonic weapons for the Navy, Army, and Air Force, including for the new Blackbeard and air-launched rapid response weapons. According to Liberty Times, the European Commission convened a meeting today to address the challenge of protecting critical industries from the impact of Chinese competition. The Commission stated that the European Union must adopt more robust measures to achieve a balanced trade relationship with China, while acknowledging China as an important partner and committing to continued dialogue. The Commission highlighted that the current state of bilateral trade and investment relations is unsustainable. Given the increasingly intertwined economic and security interests, the EU emphasized the necessity for a stronger response on both fronts. The EU is particularly concerned about its escalating trade deficit with China, which reached 360 billion euros, $419 billion last year. This significant imbalance indicates that EU imports from China far exceed its exports to China. The discussions during the meeting focused on debating both existing and new potential measures. However, EU authorities reiterated that the overarching strategy remains de-risking rather than decoupling, aiming to maintain trade ties with China while simultaneously reducing its dependency. According to CNBC, the European Union intends to intensify discussions with the U.S. administration regarding advanced AI models, particularly those with significant cyber capabilities. This move comes amid growing international concern over Anthropic's powerful Mythos model, which demonstrated advanced cyber abilities and prompted a wave of concerns from governments and businesses globally. The White House previously opposed Anthropic's plan to broaden access to Mythos due to security implications. A commission official told CNBC that cybersecurity is a shared priority and discussions are expanding with Anthropic and other model developers. However, Anthropic reportedly informed the EU that accessing Mythos would require U.S. administration permission, indicating a general U.S. opposition to sharing such models with non-U.S. governments, excluding the UK's AI Security Institute. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent emphasized the U.S. goal to balance innovation and safety, aiming to preserve its lead over China in the global AI race. Anthropic states that Mythos-class models require robust cyber safeguards before general release, with wider customer access expected in the coming weeks. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.